Hey, cousins, check in with me, the widow's wife. All right, listen. I know it's a little on the late side, but this was on my mind. This was on my mind. I needed to say this today. I needed to say this today before I forget, first of all, because I have been bad at like not making all of the proper content or making the content and just posting it. I've been like thinking it, going past it, and then I'll be like, I wanted to say that. I forgot what I wanted to say. So we're not going to do that today, right? It's just a little late, but okay. Either the way, that's not even why I came by. I came by because, listen, when we talk about grief, it's not just the person that physically died that we grieve. We grieve friendships, we grieve jobs and careers. Grief is so multifaceted that it can be too much to go off into if you're not ready to handle the full capacity of what grief really looks like. Um Transparency, cousins, and you know I keeps it transparent with you. Okay, I keep it a buck. Let me keep it a buck. I might not be wanting to, but I be needing to because we are overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the words of our testimonies. Amen. Amen. So listen, I'm putting stuff together. I'm cleaning up. I'm rearranging. I'm getting ready for the summer. Okay, because put the winter stuff away, bring the summer stuff up, and I'm like, man, I can see the transition, like the piece of dude not being in my life no more. But with that, I had to be honest and say I have to grieve all the parts of him that I accepted. Right? I accepted the terror, the little terror in him. You know, um the little over the top version of him, the sensitive version of him, the fun version of him, all of these personalities that I accepted that weaved itself into my life, right? Because it's everything, you start weaving into each other's lives. And I really had to sit there and say, that's a part of grief. Because at some point, uh, even in the just having a thought, I got a little angry for a moment, not dramatic, but I got angry for a moment. Just for like a split second, like a good 30 seconds, I was like, because why did you do that? That's a hand in grief. And then I was like, all right, because I've grown past it. I'm not that angry. It was just a moment. But how many times do we ignore the moments? And rather than handle them, deal with them, walk through them, get over them, get past them, we shut them down. And then when they come back bigger. They come back more anxious. They come back with more anxiety. They come back more prevalent than we really even wanted them to be. Now, I want to be clear. This is not a matter of me making him out to be the bad guy because I made choices, right? And I chose him at some parts of all that happened and that we've been through. However, it's the grief that I'm talking about. It's the acceptance of me growing past. It's the acceptance of that part of my life dying. And here's the part, cousins, that really had me just come take this seat and talk to you. Excuse me. I'm not even just necessarily grieving him. It's me. It's the parts of me that I'm grieving that was with him, right? It's the part of me that accepted that I have to, she's died, right? So the part that was always available, she died. The part that was, and I know this might be just like, but this is like a real process. The real process of grief is, again, not just the physical person who died, because I will always process that grief concerning my late husband. But this choice of this person that I made, I didn't just make this choice overnight about him, right? This is a person that's been in my mental system, my emotional system, my physical system, my intimate system for time, okay? And again, there's no regrets because you have to have accountability. So I don't regret. But in the process of growing and healing healthy, there's some grief for self. Like for me, there's some grief because that girl, I don't even want to say girl at first, but that young lady, that young woman, that emotionally unstable version of myself, she died. And that's where the grief comes in at, right? That's where my grief is coming in at, because it's, at first I was like, man, I'm grieving him, and I just kept like, I'm not grieving him, am I? It was like, no, I'm grieving me, but the parts of me that died concerning him, the parts of me that stayed open and was a revolving door, she died. And sometimes that's heavy to admit because of the choice we make. The whatever it is you tell yourself to why you continue to do it. It's per person. I told myself that that's my first love. And not that it's not a fact. However, being a first love does not have anything to do with the love that's needed in the capacity in which I sit in now, because it's two different things, two different places, two different levels, and it's not a negative in that place, but it's a negative in the place to continue to think that adds up to here now. And it doesn't, because now I'm here and this was there, right? Because it was in the beginning. I was in my 20s. He was the first guy after a 7-year relationship with a woman. Yes, that's another story for another day. But so to go into a full realm of, you have to be accountable to the full grief process, and it's not just the person who physically died; it's the person who's dying. If we have to die to ourselves every day, that's some grief. Not a lot, not all day, not, this is not an all day conversation. This is not me dwelling in it. This is just me. Okay. Seeing it, acknowledging it, accepting it, moving on, healing from it. Because how do you heal healthy if you do not deal with, if you do not sit and deal with the whole pie? How you know? Right? So anyway, that was my little lovely thought for the night, cousins. That was my little lovely thought for the night. Listen, let me know how you feel about it. Comment. I am here when I'm here. And this is still the progress of a widow. The widow's wife. Catch my YouTube channel.